Well, good morning. This is day 26 on the Pacific Crest Trail, and I was asked to show my gear for my sleep system. So that's what this video is about. Behind me, I've got my Zpacks Duplex tent. A really great tent. I had it on the Appalachian Trail last year. It is a trekking pole tent, so there's no tent poles that come with it. You just have to use your trekking poles to set it up. So it goes one on each corner, and then you have to stake it down. I use 8 MSR groundhog stakes, so the big boys. I feel these work really well, hold the tent down. But yeah, so that's the tent. It's a 2-person tent, but gives me plenty of space to throw all my gear in there. It's made out of Cuban fiber, which is waterproof, and it's a single-walled tent, so it's just got mesh and doors on either side. You can splay out the storm doors, so it's a pretty great tent. It's treated me pretty well, and it's still holding up after like 3,000 miles on trail. The other thing I have, and this is more for like cowboy camping, but on a couple of cold nights out here, I've also used it in my tent just as even a small extra layer, as I've got this Gossamer Gear ground sheet. And it's just a piece of plastic that is cut to fit a little bit larger than my sleeping pad. And, you know, when I'm cowboy camping, I'll just throw a rock on either end, and that's like the first base layer on the sand that or on the dirt that'll keep all the critters off you and keep everything clean. So I've got that. I have this Thermarest Z-Lite foam pad that I cut down just to 6 segments. Normally this is full like body length. I cut this down to act as a sit pad, but also to give me it's what goes down under my my inflatable sleeping pad. One problem I had on the Appalachian Trail last year is that I popped my sleeping pad all the time, and so that was really frustrating. But bringing this out, sort of the combination is it provides a little bit of an extra warmth layer on cold nights, but also helps prevent my pad from popping, I feel. You know, this is just torso length, so it provides extra protection under my sleeping, my inflatable sleeping pad. But also, if my inflatable sleeping pad were to pop, and I wasn't able to repair it, I feel like this at least gives me some sort of torso length sleeping pad that can help cushion, you know, from my shoulder to my hips, in case I just only have this to use. So that's why I cut this down. I feel like it's been pretty helpful. I've got just a camping pillow cover, so it's just the pillowcase, and I have extra clothes in there. So this is my pillow. I'm not a big fan of inflatable sleeping pillows. Never feel like they fit my neck really well, and so this, yeah, I just have my rain pants in here right now, and then I'll put my puffy jacket in there. If it's a really cold night and I'm wearing my puffy jacket while I'm sleeping, I'll just put my extra set of clothes in there, and that's normally good enough. Provides enough cushion for my neck in the night and feel pretty comfortable about it. So for my inflatable sleeping pad, so this is the same thing about last year. I've got a Sleep and Go sleeping pad. This has actually treated me pretty well so far on the trail. It was only like $40 on Amazon. It's very cheap. Last year on the AT, I had a couple of different sleeping pads, both that were over $100, and I ended up popping them. And partly because I'm a big guy and, you know, I'm a little bit of a rough sleeper, and there's a lot of rocks on the AT that you end up setting on, but I would pop them. And so my decision this year to come out, I was like, I'm not going to spend a lot of money on a inflatable sleeping pad that I'm just going to pop. And so this one's a little bit cheaper, held up really well. The R value is not as high as some of the other pads. R value is kind of what gear companies use these days to measure sort of heat transfer. It's a real objective measure of heat transfer. So they can kind of measure how warm a sleeping pad is. And this one I believe is under 2, but it's worked pretty well. I'm a pretty warm sleeper, and it hasn't popped at all. So that's the big thing. Popped air pad has very little R value and almost no use. So, but yeah, it's been very good, and it was cheap, and so I won't feel any, you know, if something does go wrong, can replace it and feel pretty good about it. A sleeping pad is one of the more important things out here when you're camping, because a lot of your heat loss comes from the ground. Like if the ground's cold, you'll be cold much faster. Even if you have a really good sleeping bag, you want some sort of protection between you and the ground. And then the last piece of gear I have, and the best piece of gear I have, is my Enlightened Equipment down quilt. This is a 20-degree quilt with 850 fill down. And it's the Revelation, so it has this this zipper that you can close the foot box. I normally keep the foot box closed, but you can open it up and it's more like a blanket. So this thing has been great. Used it, you know, every night on the AT last year, and so far on the PCT this year, and there's no sign of wear or age. I've had to wash it to clean out the down, because if the down gets dirty and sweaty, it'll stop being as effective. So I've washed it, but other than that, this thing feels like it could go for 10 years. So it's been a really great piece of gear, and it's just really comfortable, and it's just like one of the best things I have out here, because on cold nights when you pull in and you can just feel the down sort of loft up and you know, just warm up. It's great. So yeah, those are I guess the 6 pieces of gear I've got for my sleep system: my tent, my ground sheet, my foam pad that's cut to torso length, got my pillow, my inflatable sleeping pad, and then my down quilt. And yeah, if I'm cowboy camping, I'll put down the plastic, put down my foam pad and my inflatable, and then you know, my pillow and my quilt, and feel good about it. So yeah, my quilt is not a full is not a full sleeping bag, so it's not closed. You can wrap it around you. I have the long and the wide version of the quilt, because I really do like to be fully covered and not have to worry about sort of sides flipping up and, you know, cold air rushing in. So it's worked pretty well for me, and all these pieces have worked well. And even on cold nights, you know, stuff in the 20s, I've been warm. So this has kept me safe and comfortable. So had some pretty good sleep. Yeah, and then I've got my set of clothes that I can throw on in case it's really, really cold and I feel I need it. But so far, this sleep system has worked pretty well for me. So thanks for asking the question. And any more questions about gear, I'll make other videos, answer them, and love to talk about it and what's actually necessary gear-wise out here, and what people just, you know, sort of becomes popular, and you know, everybody ends up having, but there's, you know, not a real reason to have. And so yeah, so I'm gonna get cleaned up, headed to Cajon Pass, and there's a McDonald's and a Subway there, and I am gonna go grab some lunch. And so thanks for watching the video, and please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.